So I came back home unannounced, not knowing ukuthi ngizobuya, thinking ukuthi I'm going to surprise her, but I'm the one who got surprised at the end of the day. And next thing mangivula uthola abantu kuse Hawaii, people are even drinking wine in your house, and next thing uthola umuntu uyazenzela on top of your bed. You can't even find a motel. You can't even go to a hotel. In your bed, in your blankets. As if to, whenever I think about it, I feel like I feel like I had the powers of God, you understand? Send lightning. At least if you had gone to a lodge, if you have gone to a hotel, yabona bekuzoba better, but not emzini wami.
Jobe,
my king,
how you doing, man?
Fine, thanks. And how are you, man?
Fantastic, man. I like your energy, man. I like your energy.
I'll be honest with you. I just want to tell you there's one song that inspires me and I play every morning. It's from Uput Bonkosi. Most of you guys know him as Zola.
Yeah.
It says, Siyakuvumela, ukuphume kwelanga siyakuvumela. Siyakuvumela, ukushona kwelanga siyakuvumela. And once wakuvumela, mfana ubongo Thixo wangaphezulu. Mbongo umveli nqangi, the African God. Don't forget, mangithi uThixo ngithi umveli nqangi, the African God. That's the guy I praise the most.
That's why you have so much energy.
Yes, Baba, because that guy, he recharges me every morning.
Thank you so much for coming, man. I really appreciate your time. Geez, man, you've got an amazing story that you're going to share with the audience, and I can't wait for you to share it with them. But please tell me about yourself. Where are you from, man?
Well, first and foremost, I respect umuntu who takes time and takes interest in my work. Danko for it. And danko to the viewers as well. Mina, born here in Joburg. I'm originally from Soweto, a white city above. Yeah. I'm 15 kahle.
Yeah. Just to have a little bit of knowing you a bit better, how would you describe yourself as a person?
In fact, I'm a dreamer. But the difference between me and all the dreamers is that I set goals according to my dreams, and I go after my goals and I get them. I'm a hunter. I'm a predator. I'm a thinker. And more than anything else that I'm proud to say, I'm a father to 2 boys. Yeah.
That's amazing, man. I see the joy in your smile, which is amazing. But let's talk about the story that you carry. You carry an interesting story, man. And tell me about how your story begins, because it is said that you caught your woman doing something and all that. I don't want to go a little bit deep, but I want you to tell me about the day that you met this lovely lady that you caught later on the later stage.
One thing I like to say is, they say there's approximately 70 billion women in the world. And out of that 70 billion, ngakhetha yena mfowethu. You know what I mean? I chose her. And the first time mangimbona, kwathi ngiguqe phansi ngamadolo mbongo uJehova ukuthi angempela bengazi ukuthi ingilozi ikhona ehamba la ngamanyawo engenamaphiko ehamba nathi emhlabeni. And I thought I had found heaven on earth. Not knowing ukuthi no Satan nawo na ingilozi.
How did you meet her? Where did you meet her?
I met her through a friend in Tembisa. She was actually living in a back room in Tembisa, and I'd come to visit my friend, and she caught my eye, and the rest is history. Asking me out, I had to let myself be known by her. You understand? And I told her, ngambekela story sam, and I was twayijabulela lento engiyikhulumayo. And to be honest, she was fine. She was what the doctor had ordered. She was I don't know how to describe the feeling that I had. I was like, wow, this is the woman who's going to bear me beautiful children, yes. Ingani who don't have to depend on internal beauty, understand? I wouldn't actually like to describe myself as single and taken because at the time, yeah, I understand what I was trying to do is you were trying here and there, you're knocking on different doors, you understand? And I was waiting for the one to open, and the prettiest actually opened at the end of the day. But they say if you're not married, you're still single. The only time you stop being single is when you're married.
So Mjola is just a game, basically, to you.
Not a game per se. Like I understand it's an induction process. It doesn't mean that if you're still a trainee, you can be carrying that. You're still training to be a husband. You're still training to be a wife. And only when you're married, when you put a ring on it, that's when you stop being single.
But people don't want to get married these days. They just want to keep on having Mjola.
Well, it depends on who you are and what value you put to marriage and your understanding of marriage, you understand? Sometimes at the end of the day, it's about when I, as a person, what do you see as in value when it comes to umshado, yabona? Some people can be a liability to you, and other people and other weddings could be an investment, you understand? So you need to watch out and you need to think, am I bringing in a liability or am I investing in a future?
Jeez, man, now you meet this lovely woman and you're sure about her. Now, were you planning to marry her? Keep amalobolo, keep in gomo?
Like, she's correct, Baba. I did all of that. You understand? Ngahamba ngayozibika la kubo. Ngahamba ngayozibika in front of phambi kwabantu. You understand? And at the end of the day, people come back and they show you your true colors. Their true colors at the end of the day, yabona. I went through the whole processes, you understand? And to be honest, this woman, she actually gave me the most handsome son in the world. You know, when you wake up one day and you meet a guy who looks exactly like you, that's what I got from this woman.
She gave you the world, man.
Well, I wouldn't say she gave me the world, but ngithanda ukuthi abaphansi ojobeka amatshana ibona abangiphale kangani. Kuvume uNkulunkulu umvele inqa. Then sometimes you need to know God will send you somebody to test you, and then he'll send you somebody who's supposed to be your soulmate.
At the time, how would you define the love that you had for her?
I was over the moon. You know, sometimes I'll pinch myself, ukuthi, is this really me? Yimlo, engiphethe ngane so. You understand? That's how I felt. Like it was so unbelievable.
You were willing to do anything for her.
Baba, I can't even describe what I could have done for her. Even if she said go fetch the moon, bengizozama plan, yofuna iTLB mhlawumbe ngayithatha le moon ngize nayo. You understand?
Dude, you had so much love for her.
Well, when you say you love, it should actually be love, you understand? The difference between me and everybody else, because I like to talk about me because I only know myself, not other people. I might study them. So, when I do something, I do it for real. When I say I love for real. I always want to focus and do yabona. Don't expect to give somebody 50% and you want them to give you 100%. Give your best and you receive your best. Yabona.
It seems like your world literally changed just like this. Would you be able to explain what happened?
How to best paint this scenario is, have you ever had a situation whereby you are in love alone? Understand? You think you are in love with somebody, the both of you are in love, and only when the true colors come out, you discover you're the only one who was in love. Bona, they were just in there for the game and they were just in there for the gains. You understand? So that's the scenario that I got to know at the end of the day. So, it's just that life doesn't come with an instruction manual and they never teach you how to operate relationships. I so wish there was a college for that so that we wouldn't be getting so much hurt and maybe to even reduce the amount of femicide and the amount of GBV in this country. Understand? So what happened was it was on the 1st of December 2017. As usual, I was going with my boys to work, and I usually work in the evenings because I was working as a PR and artist manager, and by mistake I had forgotten my music, and our music is stored on external hard drives as well as our USBs. So I came back home unannounced, not knowing good thing is boy, and thinking good, I'm going to surprise her, but I'm the one who got surprised at the end of the day. Kabanga, you're doing your usual routine. All I needed was just my stuff inside my laptop bag, which was in the wardrobe, and I found something else. But something that really triggered me was I found a car that I didn't know in our driveway. And next thing, mangvula, uthola abantu kuse Hawaii, people are even drinking wine in your house, and next thing uthola umuntu uyazenzela on top of your bed. You can't even find a motel. You can't even go to a hotel. In your bed, in your blankets. Meaning it's not the first time. Meaning this thing was always going on all the time, but you just didn't realize it, yabon. You didn't care too much, yabon. Whereby you stuck to the love, not knowing you're in love alone, usislima. This person is playing you. And they were good at their game. But kodwa mina uNkulunkulu engemthandazayo akadakwa, akazavuke nepapalaza. One day he'll show me, and he did show me. Naganye, gambamba, red-handed, yabon. In my bedroom, in my blankets, in my bed. How much disrespect is that? You understand? And just talking about it for it to it triggers another part of me, yabon. Ngizizwa ngiphakama, ngizizwa ngisiba nolaka, I understand? And even now, I have to rely on chronic medication just to get through the day. Because that thing really hurt me, you understand? Young limaza la shandis, yabon. Now I have to take hypertension medication, yabon. Ngoba ngayicabanga lento so ngizokufikela ulaka. But kodwa uNkulunkulu ngiyacela kuye athi phola ngani yami kuzolunga. There's more I'm going to give you. That was just a test. Ngibe sengithi thank you mfeli nqa.
No man wants to go through what you went through.
I wouldn't even wish this upon my own enemy. Even if umuntu, not that I've got enemies and haters, sengisho nje umuntu kunabanye abantu abangakuthandi, and the only best way to repay them is not to like them back. But I wouldn't wish that on somebody engingamthandi.
Do you think she could have told you earlier that she doesn't want to do this anymore?
Look, in as much as anything, don't waste anybody's time. And don't pretend, you understand? Rather, umuntu awu hate for something that you told them and that is true, than to waste their time and to have somebody invest this sack. Did you hear at the beginning of this shoot what I said? I was grateful for the fact that you took interest in my work. And to know what once somebody takes interest in your work, you need to value that. And once somebody, as a woman or as a guy, if you have somebody who wants to be in a relationship with you and they take their time and they ignore everyone. Remember ngithe zingaphi intombazane emhlabeni? 70 billion fethu. Ngikhethe yena yedwa. And then out of the 70 billion, you treat me like trash. You understand?
How can you describe the disrespect that you received from this woman?
As if to, whenever I think about it, I feel like I feel like I had the powers of God, you understand? Ukuthi nje kuvele send lightning nje. Then to deserve the story of Noah, it deserves a flood, man.
Yeah.
This thing deserves a thunderstorm. That's the amount of hate I want towards this thing I have. At least mhlawumbe if you had gone to a lodge, if you have gone to a hotel, yabona bekuzoba better, but not emzini wami. Yeah, for it, just like I was saying in the beginning, ukuthi as much as God has his angels, no Satan now unazo ingilosi zakhe. And I had to learn that lesson the hard way. Bathikiwa nelibomvu libolile. You understand?
Yeah. Did you know this man?
I only seen him once. And I knew him as a work colleague. You understand? And the funny part is the same guy is married. So I was like, no, it's a work colleague, he's married, you understand? Not knowing ukuthi yo ayaphela mantshontshe emsamo.
When you think of this situation, my brother, what do you think it can do to a man? Because come to think of it, if it happened that you were a police officer, I'm sure you could have pulled out your weapon, which is something that's wrong, and it could have ended you in jail. But a lot in your mind was happening.
To be honest, that day I was angry. And I always realized why I was involved in a car accident, and God actually took away one of my legs, you understand? Because bengingakwazi ukugijima, bengingakwazi ukulandela, and I couldn't do much because when I got in there, they ran out, and I was pushed, and I lost my balance. Because as you noticed when I walked in here, I was walking with a stick. My right leg is actually shorter than my left by 8 centimeters, and I've got a nail from below my knee, and I've got another nail from my knee all the way to my hip. Meaning my leg only bends as much as 35%. You understand? I've got a fibular bypass, and I've got my leg only bends 35%, and literally it's there. You understand? It's like a decoration. Because it's a decoration. And I had ample legs that day. I would not lie, because I wouldn't really preempt how I would have reacted mangwatil. And nobody actually plans to be angry, yabon. And nobody plans ukuthi no ngifuna hurt omunye umuntu. If you find yourself planning ukuyabulala umuntu or ukuyalimaza, you are a psychopath and you need to go to jail and you need psychiatric evaluation. But at that time, it was something that is certain, and anything would have happened. Just like you're saying, would I had a gun? Nyembela, I believe if I had a gun that day, I would have fired bullets. And I'm glad I didn't, because I don't believe in guns. And I always tell people, I don't want a gun next to me. Or if you're carrying a gun next to me, please, suka matuze wam. I don't like weapons near me. I don't want anything that takes a life next to me. And the knife, I just use it because it's part of a kitchen utensil. But angifisi ukuthi ngiyiphathe ngize ngifake ephakethini lami. I want to build life. I don't want to take away life.
What do you think was happening into her mind? I mean, like, you guys had a beautiful baby boy, and all of a sudden she did that. Do you think maybe she was not happy with something? Is it the money situation? Is it because of you not driving a BMW, a Mercedes-Benz? Maybe you're driving a Toyota at the time?
Actually, at the time, I actually have like a Toyota double cab. Yeah, I understand it. It's T40. That's a Legend 40.
4x4.
And it's actually a 2x4.
Oh, 2x4.
Look, I'll be honest with you. You can never, like I was telling you, that's why I always like to speak about myself and not speak about other people. Because umuntu you angeke confirm. When somebody can have a full strategy about you, somebody can have a 10-year strategy without you realizing. And they map it according to years and how they will start from the first year up to the 3rd year and all the way to the 9th, 7th, and the 10th year. You understand? This is what is called a master plan. Kunabanye abantu bayebekaiva kunento bona, they are in it for what they want. And once they get what they want, they are out. You understand? There are some people who see others as an opportunity, not as human beings. There are some people who see other people as stepping ladders, not as abantu. Yabon. Mark Peggy, let's just okay, sharp. Justice, I. Unalok nalok. Umanga figure lala justice. I'll be able to get this and that. So as for me to do this and that. So what do I have to give up? What do I have to do to make justice happy? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 is umval, and then ingwazi ukuthi ngiqhubeke. Yabona.
What are the things that you think you lost? Do you think that they took more than material things? Maybe they took away your peace and your happiness, maybe?
like so many things, yabona, from like finance, from even opportunities whereby you have contacts and they used your contacts to get what they understand, and more than anything else, peace of mind. Because I'll tell you, namhlanje, there is no value to peace of mind. Peace of mind is the most expensive thing in the world. It's either you have it or you don't. You can't even buy it. Even the richest man in the world cannot even buy it. He might have all the money in the world, but if you don't have peace of mind, you don't have it 100%. Yabon. So I lost a lot for it today. I almost lost myself. There was a time when I lost myself, really. I lost my mind. You understand? Just imagine, like, like, I had never been to jail. The only jail I knew was on TV, Mfowethu, was on social media and everything. And I thought maybe you had to commit a crime for you to go to jail. You understand? You had to maybe do something drastic for the law to actually put you behind bars, for you to deserve ukuphathwa njengendlavini. You understand? But I was shocked ukuthi in your own home, defending your space, you can actually get jailed for that. And it's a pity I never got to lay a hand on both of them. But at the end of the day, there was a time when I was in prison, I was regretting. It got me to a point where I was like, it's fine. If you want me to go to jail, I will do that. That you can charge me for. You understand? So just because I'm a man, I'm made out of building material. Just because I'm a man, I'm made out of concrete. You understand? Just because I'm a man, you think I'm made out of cement. You think I'm inhliziyo. Nami nginayo inhliziyo. You understand? Nami ngiyafila. Nami ngiyakhala. Kodwa indoda ayikhali in public. You understand? We cry in private. You understand? But we hurt. Siyalimala kubuhlungu. And for us men, we get hurt more. You understand? Well, we have got to be stronger for other people. That's why we sometimes do not show the emotion that you want to see in our faces. Namanje, like, mangikhuluma ngale nto, like, ngibuhlungu ngaphakathi kwami. Yikubona, like, even the tone of my voice is changing more and more. I get into it. Ne? You understand? And Lashandi is like, it left me asking, ukuthi ngempela, when they say, Oguti, the same person who says they've got your back is the one who actually pulled the trigger. Ayibonela ngawami la. My two eyes, you understand? Usofa silahlane wami nguyena owathumela izitha lakimi. Nguyena obe yisitha sami namanje useyisitha sami. And I've always told myself and I've told her, I want nothing, absolutely nothing to do with you. If you've got anything to say to me, go back to court where you told a lie and then go tell them. They will come and tell me. Now. And it pains me the most is ukuthi I've got a child with this person. If I could go back in time and change and find a suitable mother for my son, I would do that. And if anyone ngaphandle lana has got a time machine, cela ungisize.
You speak about a time machine. Do you wish to go back in the past and fix your mistakes?
I wish to go back in the past and meet her.
Sure. Do you think that's one of the biggest mistakes you've ever done in your life? Besides the baby is innocent.
She is actually the biggest mistake of my life. She's the biggest and the hardest and the most painful lesson I've ever had to learn. And just like I said, if I could go and meet her, I would.
A man is known as a provider. And there's a lot of things that you provided for your family at the time. Do you think maybe there were certain things that you couldn't provide? Maybe they could have led to this?
Look, first things first, I think even if you had to meet people who know me, they will tell you, Uchobe, it was always his son. and like it's always been about my son. You understand? First things first. No, Mamang Vugekseni, the first person I think of is the one I brought to this earth. You understand? And as a man, and when you talk about providing certain things, you understand, Uguti, there are things which are called needs and wants in life. You understand? You know the difference between a need and a want. You understand? A need is something that is necessary, that you cannot do without. And a want is a luxury. So people tend to confuse needs and wants, and they tend to confuse luxuries and things that you need to get by. You understand? So that's why I wouldn't really fully understand when you say there are things that you could not provide. You understand? As long as it was a need, it was taken care of. There were wants which were not taken care of, but needs were always covered 100%.
With the world where it's going in the future, let's look at now. Do you think a lot of men are pressurized of the wants? Because you speak about the wants is a luxury, and the needs is something that you cannot live without.
I'll be honest with you. I did my own survey and I realized the time I was in the penitentiary, there were more people who were actually there in jail directly and indirectly because of women. I understand. And that thing of amawans is what makes people end up umuntu ayophushi heist yabona into enjalo. Umuntu ayoroba because so that abe nenyuku acede lapha athathe leyo mali and you go and drink it. Cabanga. Uthathe leyo mali uyothenga like some expensive alcohol out there. Yeah. And then that's why you find people end up shooting videos of themselves carrying money in suitcases and all that. That is a need. There's something that you don't need in your life. It's a want actually. Yeah, what I'm saying. So like social media has put a lot of pressure on people. Social media has made life difficult for many people, and many people think Leandro, which is on social media, is how to live life. That's why you find somebody who go and take a photograph or a video of food. Come on, man. Why can't you just eat by yourself? You understand? That's why today you find our ladies sebashuta ney'thombe begqoke kancane, abanye bengagqokile lokugqoka. You understand? Just because of the pressure of being told that being sexy. People think being sexy is about nudity. There's a difference between nudity and being sexy. You understand? And that's why I pointed the fact that there's a difference between a need and a want. And these wants are creating monsters in our communities. And these wants are going to create even more monsters. That's why today the world is suffering from what is called capitalism. Well, somebody already has money, but he needs money for somebody to cut his toenails. You understand? And you think you're living a life it's just because kunomuntu ogezayo wena ngathi zakho zandla zisasebenza. And it's turning people into devils and monsters, these ones. And social media is the worst enemy that we have got in life. Social media is a hurter, and social media will put unnecessary pressure on you. And you end up doing drastic things just to get those things. And at the end of the day, what did you gain at the end of the day? Just because so shoot this tombe. At the end of the day, would you go to your mom and show her the empty ukuthi bawuphuza into ebiza kangakanani? Uzokushaya mama athi ahlanya wena. You could have invested this money on the stock market. You could have actually bought a property. You could have started a business with that money. Kodwa when we phuze one night, the next morning wavuka nepapalazi wayichama futhi. Before you ask somebody to afford you, the question I will ask you first is, can you afford you before you want somebody to afford you first? Uthola ukuthi somebody cannot buy themselves that thing that they want from you. You understand? And then now they have to put pressure on you as a man. Yet we cannot afford it. And I feel like the problem is trends and fashion is hurting us. Just because someone else is doing it, you think you should do it. You understand? Uthola ukuthi so-and-so is driving a nice car, and when you're looking at yourself and you don't even know how they get their money. The biggest question we always need to ask ourselves before you start comparing yourself to someone else, how are they getting their money? To know how they get their money. You know, there are so many people who have got a lot of money due to proceeds of crime. And there are two types of crime. There's, there's black collar, like there's the blue collar and the white collar crime. And just because you don't know how that person has got the money, and when all of a sudden you think, you don't know, it could actually be coming from Satan. You understand? Uthola ukuthi maybe la muntu uthwele unotikoloshi wena wazi ukuthi uyithatha leyo mali, and then all of a sudden you think so the first things first, I think women, not all women I can say, because I was born and raised by a woman, and I've got sisters as well. They are adding to the crime statistics. That pressure you're putting on men is actually the reason why there's such a high crime rate in this country.
Behind the scenes.
Yes. You're the ones who are forcing these guys who abangena ndlela. These guys didn't go to school enough because of the apartheid regime or whatsoever, or the family could not afford to take them to school, or because of the situation of their background. That's why they couldn't go to school to earn as much as a doctor does. And then now you put pressure on him and he thinks, okay, look, Ukandumshova is the only way to get out of this situation. And the next thing, lamchita, seka tampa macounta, seka peti, abon, ispam, seka ifuna ngenkande o mali, ukuza jabulise wena. So that is what is putting pressure on men. And at the end of the day, it's putting pressure on society. And people always want to look at crime from one perspective, but there are people who are catalysts to that crime. And it's because of those ones, and those ones are the catalyst to the crime. So the only way to diagnose and fix a problem, fix it from the root. Don't take it from the top. Fix it at the bottom. You'll be able to solve the equation.
Going back to your story, when you sit down now and think about what happened, do you think that happened because of, I'm sorry to say this, it happened because of ubufebe? Did it happen because of a lust? Did it happen because of there's something that you didn't have, that man had?
I'll say I'm sorry as well, just like you said, I'm sorry. Bufebe straight. You know, when somebody gets too comfortable in a situation, sebakuncoma ngale comfort onayo, not knowing ukuthi kunomunye umuntu okumele aphande until kuzokuphuma ilanga for you to have that comfort. And then you all of a sudden feel as if when I saw a celebrity profile because of omunye umuntu oshizila off heaven. You understand? I was looking at a picture of one guy who actually had his hands burnt, and then you'll be like, you're born E25 is a figure, and then somebody will be asking you for money, not worrying about what you got your hands burnt, trying to get that same money. You understand? So, ibufebe period. There is no way I can sugarcoat it and make it look nice. Ubufebe, yukungazithandi, yukungazihloniphi. Your body is the temple of God. Ungayeka abantu bangene baphuma ngathi kuse taxi rank.
It's too much, ne?
Blind.
You wrote a book, an amazing book, Audible Silence. Why write the book?
Look, they say writing is another form of healing. And writing, when you actually express yourself. But a problem shared is a problem solved. You understand? And when you put it in writing, it sort of like removes what is inside of you and it puts it on paper. And so now the stress is now on paper. It's no longer in your head. It's no longer in your mind. It will stop you from doing something stupid. Because had I not taken this thing and put it on paper, it will still be haunting me, and I will still be wanting to get back. I will still be looking for revenge. But at the end of the day, I walked into the prison correctional system, not an author, but I came out an author, you understand? When I got into the prison, I learned to go to kunabantu, you understand? If that place was not for human beings, it would be written SPCA ngaphandle. The reason why it's written correctional services is because there are human beings in there. Yabon. I'm not saying all of them are good, and just like in society, And people always tell you, no, jail, there's criminals. And I'll tell you, there are more criminals out here at Stratton than in prison. In prison, there are people who are under correctional services. There are people who are being corrected for the wrong that they have done. And there are people who acknowledge it. And in every situation, there are people who are going to learn, who are going to take something out of it. There are people who are going to fail to take something out of it. Just because some people are failing to be corrected, are failing to be rehabilitated, it doesn't mean that the system is not actually trying to rehabilitate them. You understand? Just like when we go back to the Bible, the parable of seeds, some of it fell on fertile soil, some of it fell on rocky ground, some of it fell on sand. You understand? So I'll tell you, in prison, I learned something that no university can teach you, no high school can teach you, no tertiary institute can teach you. And they taught me how to have a sixth and a seventh sense in life. And they taught me to see BS from a distance.
Jeez, man. Yeah, no, you've learned so much in prison, and I'm happy that you wrote the book, man. I'm honestly happy that you didn't take the matter into your own hands, and you were able to be smart enough and know how to react to the situation. But to somebody who was in your situation, very excited, who's in love at the moment, and they're probably going through the same route that you're going through, what would you say to them?
I wouldn't come to you and tell you what it was all easy. When this happened, I was Superman, I called on my superpowers. No, like I went rock bottom. But the problem is I chose to get up, you understand, and to walk. And then just like when you go back to the Bible, it talks about miracles. Yeah, they say, Jesus would say, stretch your hand. He doesn't come and pull your hand. No. And when he's actually saying, we're fixing your eyes, it says, open your eyes. He doesn't come and open your eyes for you. When he's actually teaching you how to walk, he says, stand up and walk. So that's what I took from it. And I learned to, look, first things first, you come down. You talk to the inner man. You talk to the Almighty Father up above. You speak to those who come before you, your forefathers. You understand? And you ask yourself, is this really me? Who am I at the end of the day? And in as much as whatever decision I'm going to take, how is it going to affect those who are around me? Like I said to you, first of all, I'm a son. You understand? I'm a brother. I'm an uncle. I'm a father. I'm a mentor to other people. I'm an inspiration to other people, even though I'm a failure to other people. And even some people look at me and think, right now because he's talking to justice. You understand? But you always ask yourself, how is this decision going to affect those people? And you say you love those people, understand? So when you think to have a murderer for your son, you think your son, your son will be proud to say, my dad, I'm funny. He pulled 6 bullets on these people. Understand? So do something that you'll be proud of, and those people around you that they'll be proud of. In glowing terms to other people. It's not going to be easy. It's going to be hard. That's why I say when I do something, I go out there and I go hard on it. You understand? If I say I love my family, understand? So I had to come up with a solution that would be favorable to myself as well as to my family. I had to come up with a solution that would be favorable to my son. Ngibe a role model. The reason why I wrote this book, I want my son to go back and read this book and know Ubaba, this is what he went through. And know Ubaba, this is how he dealt with this situation. That's why if you open the back of the book, there's actually a letter to my son in the book that I wrote to my son. You understand? Because this book is actually to tell my son, this is what happened. This is what daddy encountered. You understand? And I want you to understand why things are the way they are today and things are the way they are all these years that you have lived, and why you no longer see daddy on a permanent basis like you used to. Because I'll be honest with you, my son, the first word my son learned how to say was dad, papa. Before he learned how to say mommy, my son learned how to say papa. because my son is my world. You know, like for it to, I don't believe changing diapers is a woman's job. Washing your son is a woman's job. Feeding your son is a woman's job. No, it is a parent's job. When you're a parent, you don't babysit, you parent. I understand.
How can people get the book?
The book, you can hit me up on 071 985 2814. That is 071 985 2814. Or if you like to email, you can send me an email, which is Gwazi, KWAZI, at Jobenation, which is JOBENATION, JOBENATION.co.za.
Thank you so much, my brother. I appreciate your time.
No, I'm grateful to you, man. Thank you for showing interest in my work, and thank you for being a blessing to other people, to give them an opportunity to actually vent out, and it actually takes pressure out of them. I understand. You are a blessing to people, and keep on blessing other people, and God will bless you as well.
Thank you, man.
You're welcome.
Sure.